We kind of have to talk. Hello there, fellow viewer. My name is Gabriel. Welcome to day 2 of my Shadowhunters reading journal vlog thing. Just like I mentioned yesterday, I was up reading later than recommended. Obviously, it was for a good cause. And some truth bombs were dropped yesterday that I was just not expecting, to say the least. First, I want to talk about the episode where Clary, Jace, and Simon were eavesdropping on the conversation between Luke and these two warlocks, and I want to express a little bit of confusion. This is the kind of book where things are explained in one paragraph and you're expected to remember them for the entirety of the book series, and I usually have good memory. But in this instance, I think something is kind of failing. I remember Hodge explaining that we have the Shadowhunters, which have drunk angel blood and have become Shadowhunters, and then we have the Downworlders, which are part demon from what I expect, vampires, witches, warlocks, that kind of stuff. You know, some are good and some are bad. I don't know why Downworlders, such as warlocks, which apparently are the strongest of them, are allied with Valentine if Valentine wishes to rid the world of their existence. It's kind of causing me a little bit of confusion, so I am guessing I am missing something. Maybe warlocks aren't Downworlders, I'm not exactly sure. If you know what I am talking about and can kind of ease my confusion, then please comment down below what exactly is going on for warlocks to be in liege with Valentine. I'm not really getting that. Obviously, you know, Luke has something to do with everything that is going on. Another truth bomb was there was this circle, these group of Shadowhunters that were in alliance with Valentine right up until the moment they, you know, found out his true intentions. Luke was the first to desert the circle, and now they're trying to kind of like hire him again, just kind of confused. They think he knows where the cup is. I just really don't get why Luke didn't go up to Clary in what is probably the worst moment ever of her life and just tell her, come out with the truth. It would have been, it's a lot to take in, but I think she would have received it smoother than full out getting bitten by a centipede demon and just going to the institute. Yeah. Another thing that I was just not expecting at all was that Valentine is freaking Jocelyn's ex-husband. Just what? I literally said what when I was reading it. You know, there's this part where Hodge just goes, you know, Jocelyn was his wife, and just, excuse me? My mind immediately started working towards what if Valentine is actually Clary's father, you know, which I doubt. But if that were true, you know, it would really cause the allegiance thing that would put so many things in conflict. I have come to the conclusion that Valentine is a psychopath hell-bent on just ridding the world of Downworlders, even though they're not all bad. That is what I'm getting so far. Things are getting just kind of crazy. We also found out that Clary has this blockage in her mind that, you know, is keeping her from her memories. They are going up to meet the famous Magnus Bane, which I really want to also get to know. I know he's a huge part of the Shadowhunter Chronicle. And yeah, she's planning on taking that spell out of her mind so she can remember. I have no idea what Clary might remember, because I honestly thought that this was her first contact with anything Shadowhunter related. I also want to mention that I love Simon. So far, my favorite character is Simon. I'm really liking his interventions, and you know, just when he talks, I find it that he steals the scene. I'm really liking him. I think his point of view and everything is just the coolest. Clary just explained everything to him, and he's just like, that's awesome, you know? It's kind of like the cool hipster guy who's just taking everything so chillaxingly, which is not a verb, so I'm sorry. Adverb. English. I know that Sizzy is a huge part of the fandom, and I'm really hoping that Isabel does not break his heart like everyone is saying that she will. A tiny bit of me hopes that, you know, everything goes well. It would be hard for it to go smoothly because they're Shadowhunters, but for things to just flow and maybe for them to fall in love, I'm holding out a little bit of hope here. On the other side of my love for Simon is my not so loving emotions for Jace. I'm finding Jace really annoying, flat out obnoxious, and I've come to the conclusion that usually young adult male protagonists, especially from books that have been written late 2010s, they're really arrogant, really, again, obnoxious.
And it's
I'm going to give him a chance. I'm not saying that I strongly dislike Jason. My feelings will never change for that character. I'm saying that usually these books I have to read a little bit. I have to read through their past and through their experiences, through their sacrifices, and the different actions that they will eventually do for their fellow friends, Shadowhunters in this case. I hope Jace eases his way into this heart of mine. As of right now, I do not feel very strongly for him. Clary, I don't like or dislike. It's just, she's kind of just there. I don't feel anything for her. I hope this comes to change because she's our protagonist and I really want to feel invested not only in the story and our side characters, which really tends to happen with other books, but I also want to be invested in our protagonist. When it comes to characters, this is kind of where things are standing. Alec, I haven't seen much of Alec yet, so I can't say anything. I will probably update you later on everything that goes on. I'm really excited to see where this whole Valentine coming back, the circle getting back together thing is going. In most young adult series, what happens is in every book there is a small arc, but slowly they develop a huge story arc, and I kind of think this Valentine thing is it. I'm not sure, it might be bigger than that, but as of right now, the big story arc I see is going to, again, come to this huge war. City of Bones still isn't that wow book, you know, that people say it in fact isn't, but building up the world in a way that makes me very excited. So yes, I will update you later with what is going on. Okay, so I just finished a hour and a half, I think, reading session. So we've met Magnus Bane, the party went down, and interesting things were revealed. I found it a little bit obvious that Jocelyn was the one that was keeping Clary's memories from her. It might have been shocking to Clary, of course, but I think from the reader's point of view, it kind of becomes obvious that Jocelyn didn't want her daughter to be involved with this world and with these people. Not only that, but you know, not only that, but it was also revealed earlier that she had been Valentine's wife, and if she had introduced Clary to everything, then she would have had to explain the whole circle ordeal. Nonetheless, I think it was a little bit selfish that Jocelyn kept everything to herself. I'm pretty sure she was just on the brink of telling Clary where she's from and her ascendance. Let's hope I'm saying that right. Where she descends from, that's what I'm trying to get at. So yeah, I think that Jocelyn probably should have told Clary. Again, I have finally met Magnus Bane, you know, the very charismatic warlock that everyone talks about. And even though I've only read a little bit with him in the book, I can see that he's very interesting. I'm really intrigued by how he is going to be a bigger part in the Shadowhunter universe. Before reading the books, I thought that, you know, Magnus Bane was probably part of the Institute or whatever I thought was going on. I didn't know he was like an exterior force that had nothing to do with the Institute. So I'm really intrigued as to how he is going to come into the bigger play and the bigger arc of the whole story. We also got a little, you know, just a tiny bit of Malek, which is something that a lot of people from the fandom fangirl over. I'm really anxious to see where that goes. There was this very distinct part that I liked. They were in the Vampire Manor hotel thing. They was just fed up with the fighting and she just grabbed for Simon. I think that even though it's small and almost brushes you by, I think it was very charismatic of Claire. One of the few things that I've seen her do that I've actually backed up, that I've actually, you know, enjoyed seeing her do. Also her confrontation with Alec, which I just read, literally just got off that part, about him being in love with Jace. I really think that this is one of the most interesting aspects of the book so far, is Alec and everything that he's going through. I sincerely cannot wait to read more from him because I feel like he is going to play, you know, not only a big part like everyone else, but this particular storyline has kind of tugged at me. So I cannot wait to follow through with it. Also Simon, you know, he turned into a rat because, you know, just as one does. And I was honestly expecting him to be turned in this episode. That he was, you know, he was going to stay a rat with the vampires, eventually turn back into a guy, and they would turn him, you know, but it didn't happen, or maybe it did happen. There was a very small, wordless exchange between Clary and Simon that kind of, you know, we'll see how everything goes. The highlight so far today has definitely been Alec. Yesterday I didn't get a lot from him, but things are definitely picking up. I will see you when I have more to say. So it's 10 minutes past 11 right now, and I have officially never filmed anything as late as this, so yay. Literally everyone is sleeping. I've read a substantial amount since the last time I updated you guys. Crazy things went down, and I'm going to leave some of them for tomorrow's video because I'm pretty sure this one is already too long. But I do want to say that I just finished reading the part where they go to get the Mortal Cup from this Dorothea person, or Dorothea, I'm sorry. So they battled this great demon, and they get the cup, but Alec is just hurt badly. And let me just say that as of right now, I am really worried about Alec. I'm honestly so surprised that I'm finding myself so worried about this character, which I honestly haven't even really seen. I guess you can tell that Alec kind of struck a personal chord for obvious reasons, and I'm just really hoping that he makes it out of this completely unscathed. Really worried for him. Maybe quickly I want to mention Jace and Clary's kiss. Now, I mentioned earlier that Jace isn't my favorite of characters. You know, he's slowly growing on me, but it's not there yet. And Clary and Jace, it doesn't feel quite right. I've been spoiled for something weird that I've obviously never looked into because I didn't want to be further spoiled. But, you know, the relationship between Clary and Jace, you know, it might not be as superficial as one might think. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not a big fan of them as of right now. Clary is pleasantly surprising me with the attitude she's been having lately. The beginning of the book I wasn't really on par with her, but now it's kind of cool between us. Okay, I completely forgot, but I have to mention this. Simon and Clary, and Simon declaring himself for Clary was just so heartbreaking. Again, I mentioned earlier that I am completely in love with Simon. I love this character and I'm really liking him. From the moment that he was introduced as the best friend who was in love with his best friend, I knew that he was going to get his heart broken because obviously Clary doesn't feel the same for him, and I was just so sad for him because it pains me. I'm obviously not blaming Clary for not loving him. It's just these situations are just so heartbreaking. I feel so much for the guy. Unfortunately, there isn't much one can do. I'm pretty sure Isabel has come into his life at the right moment. You know, I'm not saying that she's a rebound or any of that sort type thing. I'm saying that maybe she will get to help him, you know, get over Clary, I guess. I just really hope that he finds a happy place because it was so sad to see him in that situation. Yeah. So I will update you guys tomorrow on everything else because that is it for day 2. I really liked today, even though I didn't read as much as I wanted to because things came up, unfortunately. So I will be reading more tomorrow and updating you guys. So see you soon for more Shadowhunter things. Bye.